Good afternoon, Steel City. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On today's show, the Pittsburgh Penguins, Jaromir Jagr, jersey added to the rafters after a week of celebrating 68, comes to an end in a playoff atmosphere in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Penguins celebrate that jersey retirement and go on to lose again as that playoff atmosphere for the team is slowly drifting away. The Pittsburgh Steelers have some prominent media personnel and outlets playing Let's Pick a Quarterback for 2024 with one quarterback on the roster. Can he be the chosen one as the Steelers stay quiet on the quarterback situation? The Pitt Panthers are quickly becoming an entry for the upcoming March Madness tournament with an upset of Virginia and a blowout win versus Louisville. Speaking of basketball, the city of Pittsburgh is exploring supporting a professional basketball team. Hopefully and finally, a professional basketball team in the Steel City. All this coming up on the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go! Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. My name, your host, is Ralph Calise. This is my 8th ever episode of the Yinzer Report. Thank you for all that have tuned in so far and listened. I appreciate that. This wouldn't be possible without IE Sports Radio. For the last 9 years, IE Sports Radio has brought you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports, cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with our shows also. Check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com, for sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog, our Hall of Fame. Yours truly is the 24th member of the Sports Radio Hall of Fame. Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Sports Radio community and forum, and stop by and check out the merch. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And as always, thank you for listening. So today, I'm going to start the show off a little different. I'm going to start with some hockey. I usually start the show with the beloved Steelers. But this week was a celebration in Pittsburgh for Jaromir Jagr. They were calling it Celebrate 68. What it meant was he was having his jersey put up in the rafters in Pittsburgh, jersey retirement day, which was Sunday. So I have a little tribute to Jaromir Jagr. I have some things about him. Of course, I'll give you all his stats as a Penguin, and we'll go through that as we will celebrate 68 on the Yinzer Report. So in 1990, Jaromir Jagr was drafted by the Pittsburgh Penguins. As a Penguin, he scored 439 goals and had a total of 1,079 points for the Pens. He was a two-time Stanley Cup champion for the Penguins, back-to-back, 1991 and 1992. He played for the Penguins in 1990, 91, and ended with the Penguins in 2000-2001. That was a total of 806 games for the Penguins. He was on the NHL rookie team in 1991. He was a 9-time All-Star. He was a 5-time Art Ross Trophy winner. That trophy is the NHL league leader in points. He was a Hart Memorial Trophy winner in 1999. That's the NHL MVP trophy. He also had a Ted Lindsay Award, formerly known as the Lester B. Pearson Award, in 1999 and 2000. That was awarded annually to the NHL's most outstanding player in the regular season as judged by members of the NHL Players Association. He has 31 Pittsburgh Penguin records in categories ranging from points, assists, power play goals, game-winning goals, shots on goals, career points by a right wing, career goals by a European player, playoff records of game-winning goals, power play goals. He has Penguin records of shorthanded goals, overtime goals, game-time goals. Too many more to recite, but you get the idea. Jagr is the second all-time leading scorer in points behind the great Wayne Gretzky in the NHL. In his NHL career, he has 766 goals and 1,921 points. So that's basically what he did in Pittsburgh and how he wound up behind Gretzky. He's the second all-time NHL leading scorer. This is how I looked at my tribute to Jagr. The next, and maybe the last thing that Jagr will change is the current informal policy on the Penguins' jersey for retirement. The standard to get a jersey retired in Pittsburgh has been impossibly tough, which made the occasion all the more special. The Penguins have retired 2 numbers in 56 years. Once in memory of Mikel Briere, a promising young life cut short on an off-ice incident. And then, of course, number 66, Mario Lemieux. Until now, those 2 circumstances have been the only path to get a number hung in the rafters above the ice in the Penguins arena. Fiddly, the barrier breaking and habitual line stepper of Jaromir Jagr will be one tread into the new territory one more time for the Penguins when his 68 was memorialized forever in franchise law in Sunday's jersey retirement. With the ice broken for jersey retirements, surely number 87 will be joining number 21, 66, and 68 one day. 77 is on deck too, 58, and possibly 29. The idea is more plausible now than it was a year ago. But Sunday was not to be about the future for others. It will rightfully be about the memories that Jagr created. Jagr had a nomadic second act of his career that took him to 8 other NHL teams as a stint in the Russian KHL League. But the 68, the flowing mullet, the dazzling skill are identifiable to his 11 years in Pittsburgh. With the fans lining up 2 hours before his 4:15 ceremony and the arena treating it like a playoff atmosphere, Sunday was a celebration of all that. Long overdue, but Jagr is a guy who does what he wants in the time he wants. Just ask the Hockey Hall of Fame, who can't induct him for 3 years until he stops playing pro, which he occasionally still does for the Colano team he owns, including 15 games this season. It's a reunion that always needed to happen and surely was an emotional homecoming. The player who gave so much to the Pens organization will finally be honored in the fashion he deserved. As always, Jagr's sense of timing and doing things on his own way will be on display. So, Jagr had his jersey, number 68, raised to the rafters Sunday afternoon in a great ceremony. I was able to catch it. Of course, it was very emotional. It went up right next to Larry Lemieux's jersey in the rafters, and they called it Celebrate 68. And to me, it was more than a celebration of 68. Jagr was known to say that he loved Lemieux as a kid. And as a kid in school, he scribbled his name on desks all over the school in the Czech Republic. He told certain teams in 1990 not to draft him because he wouldn't come to play with them. He wanted to play with Lemieux. That's something. Friday night, I believe he was in front of all his former players, and they had like a question and answering with him with I guess the old Penguin reporters that covered him, and there was a write-up about it on one of the questions that were asked, and he answered and how he perceived himself, and it said Jagr was very appreciative throughout the course of the night, reflecting on people in Pittsburgh like Brian Trottier who helped him along the way. Jagr called Rick Keogh, a Penguins assistant coach at the time, a perfect guy for helping develop his shot. We would shoot 200, 300, 400 pucks after practice. I couldn't shoot at all, and I felt like in 3 years I had one of the best shots in the NHL. He said, if you practice, everything's possible. He talked about Jari Hrdina, acquired from Calgary to ease the rookie's adjustment to the U.S. Jagr movingly addressed the guys on stage with him for the influence they had, and he spoke about highly of his first NH coach, the late Badger Bob Johnson, who died of brain cancer the summer after leading Pittsburgh to its first Stanley Cup in franchise history. Just that one saying right there feels heartfelt from Jaromir Jagr to me. He went on Saturday to surprise everybody as he took the ice and joined the practice in full gear. The Jagr weekend continued. The Great 68 made an unscheduled visit to the Penguins practice facility, and to no one's surprise, the 52-year-old was participating in drills at full speed. Not in the Hall of Fame yet because he still plays hockey in the Czech League with the Kladno League, a team he owns. One of the great Jagr moments in Pittsburgh history came in 1999. But from there, before that, Jagr became the player of the 90s. He won 5 Art Ross scoring titles, including 4 in a row from 1998 to 2001. He scored the overtime goal that retired Wayne Gretzky. That's interesting. He lifted the Czechs to an improbable but thrilling gold medal in the 1998 Olympics in the much-anticipated involvement of the top players in that competition. It's a well-known story, but worth repeating at every opportunity, and from what I heard, the story was told a lot during the past week about how Jagr's heroics on a bad groin led the 8-seeded Penguins over the top-seeded Devils at a moment when the franchise was bankrupt and badly in need of further revenue. That was in 1999. Dire financial circumstances facing the Penguins. Jagr played through a serious leg injury to score a late game-tying goal and then an overtime winner in Game 6 in the first round of the playoff series versus the Devils. Jagr then set up Game 7 winner, leading the 8-seed Penguins to the upset of the top 7 Devils in Game 7 in 1999. And millions of money and badly needed revenue, it helped. Just by winning that series, it helped for 2 years. But the organization's crumbling finances failed, and they were forced to trade Jagr in the summer of 2001. So that was Jagr's week. Sunday was as I said, the lifting of the number 68 to the rafters. And yeah, he was a great player. And Sunday they had the warm-ups after they did the ceremony. A lot of the Penguins came out with like fake mullets on their head to furthermore celebrate Jagr as they took their practice laps. And Jagr himself was on the ice in the warm-ups. Just a great all-around ceremony. And from what I heard, it was a celebration that was emotional, happy, any kind of adjective you could use to describe a jersey retirement. And Jaromir Jagr is Pittsburgh, along with Mario Lemieux. Of course, Mario is more Pittsburgh, but Jagr deserves that spot. And I'm glad to see that the jersey is hanging next to Mario Lemieux. They actually changed Mario's Lemieux to match the jersey that they lifted up for Jagr. They're both black and gold. I think Lemieux's before it was the Winter Classic jersey, which I don't understand that, but okay, it looks good now. So if you go on X Twitter, you could see pictures of it. You'll see what it looks like. It looks really great. So that was the Jagr scenario for the week. The Penguins still had to play hockey, of course, and they had 3 games this past week, and things are not going well for the Penguins at the moment, but we'll go through the games they played this week. Started out earlier in the week before the announcement of the Celebrate 68. They played the Florida Panthers at the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, and the Panthers wound up becoming 5-2 winners. Penguin goals from Brian Rust, his 14th, and defensive John Lugwood scored his first career NHL goal. Tristan Jarry was in net. He made 18 saves but couldn't help the Penguins. They dropped their 3rd straight. The Penguins forced to play with only 11 forwards and 7 defensemen because of multiple injuries to forwards. Russ provided a goal, which gave them a brief spark. Florida challenged the goal, and the goal stood, and a power play afterward, because of the bad challenge, was unsuccessful and quickly made that spark fizzle out. The Penguins now have the 30th ranked power play in the NHL. The Penguins team is fading fast. At this point, they were 7 points out of a playoff spot and are running out of time to get it together before the trade deadline. Penguins are now 5-6-3 since January 1st, which failing to make any headway towards a playoff berth that used to be a given for a Sidney Crosby and company. And of course, when things are bad, they get worse. Their second leading scorer, Jake Gunsel, with 22 goals this season, left the game midway through the 3rd period, what was being evaluated for an upper body injury. 12 of 18 of the Penguins had a minus for this game versus the streaking Panthers, now 3-2 since December 23rd, zooming up the Atlantic standings to draw within a striking distance of the first-place Boston Bruins. The Panthers also extended their franchise record road winning streak to 9 games. The Panthers and Penguins are totally heading into 2 different directions at this point of the season. The next game for the Penguins was at Chicago. Before that game in Chicago, Jake Guentzel was reported to be lost to an unspecified upper body injury, announced he will miss 3 to 4 weeks, and has been placed on the injured reserves. That's going to hurt. The next game, like I said, was versus Chicago. That was Thursday. That was in Chicago, at Chicago, and the Penguins come up with a 4-1 win. Sensational Sidney Crosby and goaltending combined for a familiar winning formula in this game. Captain Crosby had 2 goals, and goalie Alex Nedeljkovic led the Penguins to victory, snapping the 3-game losing streak. Very well-deserved road win. It took them only 15 seconds to get the lead, and it came on a goal by Crosby. His 406th even-strength goal, moving him to first place in franchise history for even-strength tallies. The new second line of Riley Smith, Evgeny Malkin, and Drew O'Connor took their turn next. An extraordinary great effort play by Drew O'Connor to steal a puck away, race down the ice, and set up Riley Smith, who made us Pens fans smiley, with the goal off the pass of O'Connor to score the second goal. 2-0 Pens. Third period came. Crosby seals it with his 30th of the season. They did need Nedeljkovic to be sharp before the goal was 2-1. The lead had some nervy moments, but the goaltending by Nedeljkovic, a Penguin strength this year, secured the 4-1 win. Then, of course, came Celebrate 68 Sunday, and the Penguins played the Kings. They went out and played the Kings, and when they played a strong first two periods, they had a 1-0 lead. The place was rocking. They were still on a high from the Jaromir jersey retirement. And the third period came, and the Kings got a quick goal in the beginning of the first 10 minutes of the third period. They tied the game at 1, and I believe with 6 minutes left, they scored the go-ahead goal, and they went on to win 2-1. And it was just a punch in the gut because your emotions were so high from like I said, it was a playoff atmosphere with the jersey going up, and the Penguins came back and just deflated the arena. So the Penguins, now 52 games played, have 24 wins, 21 losses, 7 OT losses, with 55 points. They're 7th in the Metropolitan Division. They're 12th in the Eastern Conference. And they are 9 points now out of a playoff spot. So they have some work to do. And it looks like the playoffs are slowly dwindling away. The trade deadline is coming up. I don't foresee the Penguins being go-getters, because they're in a hole right here. They lost their second best scorer, unless they decide to trade him and get some revenue back for him. But we'll see what happens with that. Okay, let me check the chat. Say hello to everybody. Larry B, here we go. You know it, buddy. Larry B loved this track. Yeah. You actually helped me pick that track out, Larry. Thank you. Terran, good evening, Ralph. Have a great show. Yes, sir, always. Love listening to you, Terran. Again. Jen B, have a great show, Ralph. Hopefully everything is okay, Jen B. And Patty, I'm working, Ralph, but have a great show. I'll try to listen as much as possible. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate you. All right. I'll take a break. We're going to come back and talk about this Steeler quarterback situation that has everybody picking a quarterback for them, except the team. I will be back shortly. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Notorious Law.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
What's good, everyone? It's Drosky, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back. The Yinzer Report, Episode 8 on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Again, my name is Ralph Calise. We'll get some sponsorships out of the way here. Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free option, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate. It's low in sugar and high in protein. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on another planet. You can find it on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Have you thought about sealing the deal? We have Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations, and you're looking for that extra special touch. Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal. We'll bring the seal. You can find that at Instagram at SealTheDeal_wax stamps and Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Sounds like a very nice touch. I like that. I'm going to look into that. I do some letter writing on my off time. Okay, so let's get into this quarterback situation that's been going a little crazy here for the past couple of weeks with the Steelers. I'll start off by saying I want to thank Adam Kernick for Chi-Town Weekly show last night for playing a bit that I had last week on my show about Justin Fields and the Steelers possibly looking to trade for Justin Fields because Tomlin really likes the kid, and this quarterback situation with the Steelers is going crazy at the moment. So thank you, Adam, for your little bit on that. It was a great piece. The Pittsburgh Steelers offseason is in full swing just about 2 weeks after the Chiefs won Super Bowl 58. After press conferences from Coach Tomlin and team president Dan Rooney III, where it was basically said by both that Kenny Pickett will have every chance to get the starting quarterback spot, but there will be competition for it. In Mike Tomlin's words, we will not anoint anyone. And Rooney saying we think bringing Rudolph back will be the competition Pickett needs in that position. Then Arthur Smith was named offensive coordinator, and with his specialty being getting quarterbacks to understand a passing offense with a strong running game involved, hopefully making us Steelers fans completely forget Matt Canada and what was the offensive side of coaching that the Steelers produced after Canada was fired. The Steelers, in doing things different for the offensive side of the ball, hiring outside the organization again, which is not a Coach Tomlin staple, where most of his coaches were hired within the organization, go hire 3 new coaches from the outside. Tom Orth, quarterbacks coach, Zach Garzini, wide receivers coach, and Mateo Kumbai, offensive line assistant. Again, going a different way to help the offense in 2024, as these new coaches will be the first Steeler coaches to own these positions. The Steelers in the past seasons used the offensive coordinator as the passing game coordinator and their offensive lines coach as the run game coordinator. There is a big difference already with these signings, which occurred last week. Now comes the past 2 weeks with all and every quarterback the Steelers will trade for, draft, or sign for competition. Quarterback names include Justin Fields in a trade, Mason Rudolph, already mentioned, Ryan Tannehill, Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, and mock drafts having the Steelers taking Bo Nix or Michael Penix. Based on all the media speculation, the Steelers will have 52 quarterbacks on the roster come week 1, along with T.J. Watt. Now Sunday comes, and a well-noted, I would say one of the top Steelers reporters, who has been there for a long time, and as long as I've been a Steeler fan, reports the Steelers are sticking with Kenny Pickett, going on to report the Steelers are not interested in bringing in a quarterback who wants to be a starter. That would include Fields, Cousins, and Wilson. They are committed to giving Pickett a 3rd season to see if he is the guy to do more than just win a playoff game, something we all know that has not happened in a franchise record 7 years. He went on to finish the report by saying, make no mistake, it is not the stable and comforting position they expected 2 years ago. The report comes out of nowhere, and I'm saying to myself, holy shit, the media just don't stop. We are not hearing nothing out of Pittsburgh from the people that matter. Only the media, various TV personnel, and now a well-known reporter. I did say on another show, I don't listen to any crap outside until it comes from a reliable team source. Remember, in the press conference that Mike Tomlin had, he was noted as being retiring. So remember Mike Tomlin retiring. How'd that work out? So now Monday comes, and things just get better with a prominent Sports Illustrated writer calling out the reporter of the Steelers, well-known reporter. It's getting better. Again, with Coach Tomlin basically saying his final press conference, he believes their 2024 starting quarterback is already on the roster. Now, at the time, the roster consisted of Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, who is a pending free agent at the moment, and Mitch Trubisky, who was released last week, thank God. The Sports Illustrated writer reacted to the Steelers' well-known reporter in his latest column on Monday, saying, "Come again?" as he wrote in this Football Morning America piece, in a division where Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, the Steelers would actually choose to enter camp with Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph, should Mason sign in free agency with the Steelers. He says that sounds like a colossal misjudgment of your quarterback position. You have to love the fact that prominent writers are disagreeing on the quarterback situation, and as mentioned, the Steelers organization is being tight-lipped. This will go on for weeks to come with more quarterback names mentioned, and the front office and the coaches of the Steelers paying it no mind. In my opinion, at this point, I believe in what Coach Collins said. The Steelers' starting quarterback is on the roster, and as we speak, Kenny Pickett is the only quarterback on the roster. I will always go by, as I always say, and listen to the head coach and team president or voices from the organization that matter. My outlook on this is they will sign a veteran quarterback, and at some time in the draft a young quarterback for possible future seasons. That will be Kenny Pickett's competition. Also, I think they will not be able to match the demands of Chicago Bears in a trade for Justin Fields, although Tomlin loves Fields, and as it came out recently that in 2021 draft, Fields was drafted 11th, he was listed as the Steelers' number one player on the board. Now, that draft, the Steelers had the 24th pick and drafted Najee Harris, so there was no way Fields was dropping that far. As far as getting to trade up to try to get Fields, I don't remember anything from that draft coming out that they tried to get him. Thus, these stories are coming out now, and like Adam had on his show yesterday on my clip, saying that Mike Tomlin loves Justin Fields, you could see that that's true because that piece there saying that they had him number one on the draft board out of everybody, probably knowing they weren't going to get him. And I think that was the end of Ben Roethlisberger's years there in Pittsburgh, so they did not go to try and get Fields as possibly as they want. But who knows? Like I said, it's quiet out in Pittsburgh. Now, with this coming out and backtracking on it and not hearing anything, I feel that they're going to give Kenny Pickett that shot. It's up to Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett, in his career in Pittsburgh is 14-10. He has similar records in the 2 years he's been there, 7-5, 7-5, 13 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He's got a 62.6 completion percentage. He has 6 comebacks and same game-winning drives in those 14 wins. I don't know if Kenny Pickett got caught up in that Matt Canada situation where he was calling the plays and he was just calling some bad games, Matt Canada. My God, the plays he was calling. And Kenny Pickett, that was his first coordinator. I don't know if Kenny Pickett got caught up with the shenanigans of Matt Canada calling these plays for the Steelers. It was mentioned that could be a problem of Kenny Pickett as well. I mean, he did start off throwing a lot of interceptions, but he gradually, in his first season, he gradually picked it up. I mean, I would love to see Kenny Pickett as the quarterback, as the starter, but just something there that's not making sense. And it's just so quiet. That's got to be a red flag right there. I mean, they said this at their press conference that, like I just read, the guy is on the quarterback is on the roster. Going to bring in Mason Rudolph for competition. You got to bring in competition. But if you bring in a guy like Justin Fields, if you're going to trade for him, that's your quarterback. So we'll see what happens with that. Cam Hayward had a surgery done yesterday. He was all over social media saying he was good. He did have a comment saying, well, I know what the professional players feel like playing on one leg. I got my second leg back. I can't wait to get back in the trenches. Cam Hayward. You gotta love Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward. Oh, Cam. I love that guy. So, that's it for the Steelers. So, have fun. Pick your quarterback for the Steelers. The Steelers are the Steelers. They're going to do what they feel is best for them. Us fans just have to go through it and suffer. And the draft is coming up. I don't see the Steelers sending their first pick and whatever else Chicago wants. I think the Steelers are more in the let's give them a second round pick and a couple other picks. But I don't see them, especially that they're saying that their quarterback's in the building, they're going to give up a first round pick for Justin Fields. The biggest trade that I remember the Steelers ever made was for Jerome Bettis. And I don't believe they gave up a first pick for him. So that's the quarterback situation for the Steelers. Team is quiet. The media will pick out who they want to be. I did see today that the Bengals former wide receiver Chad Ochocinco Johnson was on X, Twitter, tweeting out that he heard from a little birdie that the Steelers were going to sign Russell Wilson. So again, that's coming from a former player. That's the media. That's not the Steelers organization. All right, I'll take another break. I'm going to come back with the Pitt Panthers, the NCAA men's college basketball team. They are on fire. They are playing well. And I have a little something that came out a couple of days ago about a possible professional team for basketball coming to Pittsburgh. They could be looking at a professional team since the 1960s or 70s. I'll talk about that when I get back. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Please come back.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back. The Yinzer Report, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all other sports. Okay, let's get into the Pittsburgh Panthers NCAA men's basketball. They had a game beginning of last week. They played the number 21 Virginia Cavaliers at the John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, Virginia. And the Pitt Panthers, playing well, pull off the upset, 74-63. At halftime, the Panthers were up 35-31. The Pitt Panthers, as reported on the Yinzer Report last week, continue their NCAA tournament push with an upset road victory against number 21 Virginia. Pitt snaps number 21 Virginia's home winning streak of 23. Remember that victory last month at Cameron Indoor Arena, and add John Paul to the list. The Pitt basketball team is on a roll in a hot streak that began January 20th with 4-point victory against Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium. The Panthers continued their sizzling surge Tuesday night by knocking off number 21 Virginia 74-63 at the John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville, ending the nation's longest home winning streak at 23. Blake Hinson scored 27 points to lead Pitt 16-8, 7-6 in the ACC, which won for the sixth time in 7 games since that victory over number 9 Duke, and presented Coach Jeff Capel with a belated birthday gift. Capel turned 49 yesterday. It marked the first Pitt victory at Virginia in 50 years. The Panthers, behind Billy Knight, 34 points and 16 rebounds, knocked off the Cavaliers 81-70 on January 3rd, 1974 at then University Hall. With former Virginia star Ralph Sampson in attendance, Pitt entered its latest game as the conference leader in three-point field goals made per game at 9.1 and easily exceeded that average with a 14-for-32 effort against Virginia, the ACC leader in scoring defense for 12 consecutive seasons. The Cavaliers, again, have been the stingiest team in the conference play, holding opponents to 57.7 points per game, which ranked third nationally. The Panthers scored 74 points. Pitt, on the strength of 44% shooting from three-point range, put a massive dent in Virginia's armor while holding the Cavaliers to 29%, 4 for 14 from behind the arc. The Panthers out-rebounded the Cavaliers 35-25, with Carlton Carrington and Ishmael Leggett corralling 8 apiece. The Panthers held a 21-10 edge in the second half. Leggett added 13 points. Jalen Lowe chipped in with 12 for Pitt, which returns home to play Louisville this past Saturday at the Peterson Event Center. After Pitt expanded a 4-point halftime lead to 38-31 on a 3-point shot by Hinson, Virginia roared back with a 9-0 capped by an alley-oop dunk by Blake Buchanan as the Cavs took a 40-38 lead. The lead seesawed with McNeely scoring in the paint for Virginia and a 49-47 Cavs lead. But Hinson, three-pointer with 13 minutes, 1 second left, gave Pitt the lead for good at 52-49. It reached 14 points when Carrington scored on a second-chance layup to make it 70-56, and the Panthers coasted. So they beat the number 23 team, and that put the Panthers at 16-8 overall, 7-6 in the AC. They came back Saturday, as was mentioned, and they were home at the Peterson Event Center, and they had a real insane crowd going. They had the, I want to say the first 10 to 15 rows at the arena. They were all jumping up around from one side of the court going around to the other. It looked great. So they played the Louisville Cardinals at the Peterson Event Center, and they come out with the win. Blake Hinson had a 41-point eruption as they beat Louisville in a rout, 86-59. Hinson scored 27 of his career-high 41 points in the first half. His 27 points equaled the Cardinals' total team output before halftime. Yinzer finished 14 of 24 shooting and matched his career best with 9 3-pointers. Yinzer went over the 1,000-point mark in his career and was the first Panthers player to score more than 30 points in a game in 27 years. Pitt down 18-17 with 8:26 left in the game. Yinzer went on a 7-0 run by himself to put Pitt in the lead for the remainder of the way. Pitt now 17-8, 8-6 in the ACC, and now 4th place in the standing in the ACC. They are on a major run here, and this is their, like I said, they're 17-8, 8-6 in the ACC. Their bracketology ratings, they rank 43rd. Their rating is an 11.2. To make the tournament, they're at 6.7%. An automatic bid would be at 5.0%. An at-large bid, 1.8%. And a most likely seed at this point is number 12. So, Pitt is on the way up, according to that. I follow that bracketology after every game, and all those numbers have been going up in the past after the past 4 games. So go Pitt Panthers, keep it going. I'd love to see them in the tournament, make a run. It'll be really good. And I have something about Pittsburgh possibly fielding a NBA, WNBA pro basketball team. So Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh, is exploring whether it could support a professional basketball team. Pittsburgh Sports and Exhibit Authority agreed to pay a consulting firm up to $90,000 for a feasible study. The study would look into the demand for an NBA or WNBA team in Pittsburgh. It will also examine the potential of an economic benefits of bringing a team to Pittsburgh. The last history of professional basketball in Pittsburgh was with the Pittsburgh Pipers / Condors of the late 1960s, early 70s, who played at the Civic Arena. I honestly don't remember that. The Pipers saw great fan attendance in their first season. They were led by the great Connie Hawkins, an NBA Hall of Famer. The team was moved to Minnesota for a season without success, and then came back to Pittsburgh without the great success they had when they played. The team even struggled to attract fans, and the ABA canceled the franchise in 1972. Wow. As we know, Pittsburgh has 3 professional sports teams: the Pirates in the MLB, the Steelers in the NFL, the Penguins in the NHL, but never an NBA team, meaning there are 3 of the Big 4 sports league in the city of Pittsburgh. We want 4 of 4. Many people might say there is no way a professional team would thrive in Pittsburgh as far as basketball, but if the study occurs and comes back favorable, it might just happen. I disagree with that. I feel college basketball is a big, big thing in Pittsburgh. Look at the Panthers. You have Duquesne. There are other schools in Pittsburgh colleges that are very big. So we'll monitor that. We'll see what happens with that. And I hope everybody coming to the end here. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. I'm just blessed to happen to do this every week. It's a great joy of mine to do it, to talk to the people out there. And let's go Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh forever with black and gold. Stay tuned for the upcoming shows on IE Sports Radio. Today is Tuesday. It's Pack Tuesday. I believe you have shows going till 10 o'clock tonight. And we'll be back next week. I'll try to get some Pirate baseball in, being that spring training is underway. They're in the second week of spring training. I believe games are coming up, and I believe it's like 36 or 35 days to opening day for Bucko baseball. So enjoy your evening. Have a good night. Thanks for listening. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Jen B, Patty Patty B, Larry, and Terran. Thank you guys. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you next week. Once again, this was the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Thanks again for tuning in to my 8th episode ever. Stay tuned. The upcoming shows will be at 6 p.m. The Show of the Land with Jen B. 7 p.m. The Buffalo Huddy with Patty. 8 p.m. Philly Sports Talk with Chris and Bobby. 9 p.m. The Neutral Zone with Adam and Zach. Those guys are never offsides. And then the final show of your Sports Pack Day, 10 p.m. Sin City Sports with Kyle. Enjoy the night. Take care. Love you guys. Let's go.